All right. Shit. Normally I do like a little intro. I've already recorded some of this, so I'm gonna have to try to edit it. Hey, welcome back to the Protodead TV show. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's right. And my guest today is Rodriguez Philippus McMillan. Hey, dude, how you doing?
Well, hey, Rodriguez. Is that Spanish?
Yeah. Well, it's my proper name's Roderick.
Yeah, no,
I just had a whack from the wife and being a bit loud.
Oh, I think that means something different where I come from.
Dude, you're gonna kill me.
Okay.
More virus out.
Yeah, okay. You gotta milk the coronavirus out of your lungs.
You know, you're gonna kill me, man.
Don't.
And it's half an hour later. You're gonna go, and that was Rod.
And that was
he lived for a short half an hour. Oh dear me! It's good to laugh. Bear with me 1 second.
Okay.
I am sporting a chest infection at the moment, so you probably will get a cough now and again. Which I might. What I'll do is I'll just do this, and then do that, and then you won't hear the cough.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make too much of a difference to me whether we capture coughs in the recording or not. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay, well, I don't know if you know, but my dad passed away on Boxing Day.
What's Boxing Day?
That's the day after Christmas, the 26th of December.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Were you close to your dad?
It is one of those. I was very close to him, yeah. But I was with him all the way through it. I haven't really grieved. I sort of, went through it with him. And I'm the eldest, so I've been arranging everything as well.
Yikes.
And I think what's happened is my immune system's got a bit low. I've caught this, excuse me. I've caught this cold, which has turned into a chest infection.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's really terrible.
Yeah, life sucks, mate, but you got to keep going forward.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and it's I commend you for having a like I'm tough, don't worry about me sort of attitude about it. But man, it's a big deal when you're close to a family member like that. And I know everybody dies and stuff, and maybe hopefully you believe that they go to a better place and everything's okay and stuff. But at the same time,
I don't know, mate. I don't know whether they go somewhere else or whether that's it. I just don't think anybody fucking knows.
Obviously nobody fucking knows. And the people that people that say that they do know are fucking lying. They're selling something to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what happens when you're dead. If I was to be totally honest, with the knowledge that I have, I think that we're all eternal. I think we're all part of the universe. And whether we die and go to dust or whatever makes us initially us, that's never gone. In whatever form, whether you're a fucking bird or a rock or a rat or another human or a new life or whatever, I think we're all immortal because we're all different and we're all part of the big scheme of all the universe and everything else. So I don't think that can ever be lost. I think it's immortal. But how it goes on from when you die, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a belief that I have. I don't think when you're dead, that's the end of you. I don't think you're just a robot and you learn what you learn and you're a machine and you die. I think there is definitely something more to it. There's something spiritual. Can I tell you what it is? Can I fuck? I don't know. I just have a gut feeling that there's something. I see things in life, like karma, and when the chips are down, something always comes along to make it better and. Just abnormally so. So I believe there's something else, but what the fuck it is, I do not know.
Yeah, it beats the fuck out of me. I don't think it really matters either. I mean, people spend a lot of energy worrying about it, and I think, if they got nothing better to do, then fine, But if they're putting a lot of energy into worrying about the afterlife and where you go and preventing other people from choosing the wrong thing, I think they're fucking up. They're spinning their wheels, man.
Well, I think just on the basic knowledge that I have, when you look at the rudimentary cause of most religion, they're all based around the same thing anyway. You have some sort of, celebrated person who's, a a child of supposedly a godlike figure who's died to save our sins or has died to save us. But if you look in the old cuneiform from Sumerian times, those stories are all in that predates all the Bible and the all the different religions and the Mormons and the Indian, what they believe in their religion. It all predates it, and it's all the same stories. So I just think it's a load of people with their take on what, maybe what was documented. But who knows? We could have been put here by aliens. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I think, personally, I think I crawled out from underneath a rock, so.
Was it warm under there? Yeah, no, I don't know, mate. I don't think any of us do.
Yeah.
So yeah, during this whole process, obviously, I don't see myself as being like a tough man, and I've gone through. I don't see myself like that at all. I think because I've been with my dad along the whole journey, with all the hospital trips, being there with him in hospital. I was there with him to his last breath. I think that's the reason why I'm not grieving as much, because I've actually been through it all with him. And that is, that's where your grieving's been. You've been with him going through it all. But also I've had a lot of quality time with him as well at the end, which is good. So
that's great, man.
Yeah, I celebrate the good stuff, mate, not the shit.
Great. That's good to hear.
Yeah. But I don't see myself as being a tough man, and it's not affecting me. Not at all. Yeah, I genuinely think that I've been affected by it, and that's why my immune system's low, and that's why I've caught a fucking a virus, because it's not coronavirus.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, it sounds to me like what are your symptoms?
It started off with like a sort of cold fevery thing.
Oh, that's a coronavirus. You got the coronavirus, man.
Yeah, but I've done multiple tests and it's not tested positive.
It doesn't matter. You test. It's a positive case of COVID if you test negative for it.
Yeah.
Around here in the States, like they haven't. You know how like they've called like 5 years ago, you would have said, "Oh, I got the flu. I've been sick," or whatever. And over here, all last year, there's been no flu. No one's had the flu. So every positive case has been, they call it COVID-19.
Yeah, well, the flu is a coronavirus. There's 4 coronaviruses.
Yeah, but what was it 3 years ago? I mean, they called it the flu. It was the flu. But this year, no one has the flu. Every time somebody tests positive for anything, they call it coronavirus. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, well, that's because there's an incentive by all the medical people. They get paid to log coronavirus deaths, and they get paid money. So why not?
Yeah, I heard some guy died on a motorcycle, like crashed in the back of a dump truck, and the fucking coroner was like, "Coronavirus check."
yeah, fucking check, please.
Yeah, several deep sea divers fucking died to death from the bends or something coming up too fast, or they ran out of air. Coronavirus got them again.
Yeah, all the way down in the depths of the sea.
Yeah.
There it was, swimming around.
Yeah.
Going up through his nuts.
Yeah.
Out of his nose.
Oh,
I got. You're going to kill me.
That's funny.
There you go, and I'm back.
Yeah.
Right, what do you want to talk about, dude? You wanted to have a little bit of a podcast thing going?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to talk a little bit about Tarkov, maybe.
Okay.
What do you think?
Fucking game?
Yeah, Tarkov in the game. What do you think about what do you think about the event that they had recently, the Christmas event?
It's still on, isn't it? They're still looking at Santa.
No, it's all gone.
Oh, it's gone, is it?
Yeah, this morning they shut it down.
Well, most of the people that I encountered, they're all effing and blinding because of how much rep they've lost, because every time they see Santa, they get this itchy trigger finger. Blow his fucking brains off.
Yeah. Take his big backpack.
Yeah, so I think I've met him a couple of times where he's like pointing at the ground and there's fuck all there.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to find the key to kick him in the nuts to say, drop something, you fucker.
That's something they should definitely add a kick fucking button. That'd be all right.
Yeah. Then I followed him a little bit, and some people say that if you beckon him to follow you, he'll then drop something, or if you drop something down, which I actually did, I dropped some shit I'd picked up down, and he ran back and then picked it up and then dropped some even worse shit down for me to pick up. So,
Oh.
but I have heard tales of him dropping graphics cards and moonshines and things. Not that I ever saw it, but I did get a nice drop of him when I blew his head off though, and got his backpack and got all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
0.5 rep loss though.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. My dad's trying to climb out of that hole. He shot Santa Claus, and he thought it wouldn't be that big of a deal, and then he logged back in his next scab raid, and all the scabs are hostile to him.
Oh wow, he'd gone below zero, had he?
Yeah, he'd gone way in the negative, apparently, and negative enough to where AI scabs are fucking trying to cap his ass.
Oh right, I heard a tale that apparently if he's wearing a blue hat, you lose 0.5 rep, but if he's wearing a red hat, you only lose 0.2 rep. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, yeah. Well, it's because they're supposed to be two different characters. The blue hat was Dead Moros. Dead Moros is the Russian, like flip of the coin, the opposite side of the coin from Santa Claus. I guess he's supposed to kind of like be like Krampus or some shit.
Well, you got to shoot that bastard, haven't you? Because he's going to chuck Novacek on you.
Yeah. You would think that he'd jump out of a fucking bush and try to eat your face off or something, but I don't know. I don't think BSG did a good job just giving us the content they've given us. I think their whole studio is on fire and held together with duct tape, bubblegum, and dreams, man, because it's like they can barely pump out fucking anything. It's been, what? We've been playing the game for 4 years?
Mm.
Jesus.
I'll be honest with you, since this latest thing, I've been in the queue with like 88,000 that were in the queue. Mm-hmm. I waited like 25 minutes before I could even get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's times where you go into a raid and you're waiting like 15, 20 minutes, and then it just goes server timed out.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got these back-end errors.
Yes.
I actually, obviously, I was involved in the games industry many years ago.
Yeah.
I actually think what they're doing is they've fucked up with the amount of people on their servers. I don't know how they fucked up, or whether they haven't got enough servers, or whether the servers are slow, or whatever the fuck it is. I think what they're doing is they're actually creating false queues and false servers for people just to like split it off, so there's not so much of a load on the server, so that you sat waiting for 20 minutes with nothing happening, but you think you're in a server. I genuinely think they're deliberately just pulling a lot of people off to bullshit. To come out, and then they have to restart the game, a lot of them, because it crashes, and then they have to wait in the queue again, and it's all just stopping people from playing, which is obviously, not putting so much of a load on the server. That's what I think's happening.
Maybe. I got no idea, but I do know that when this shit started, it was because there was some sort of online group that was DDoSing.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard they've been DDoSed really badly. And that's what's creating problems with the server times and stuff. But I don't know if it's any truth in it or not, though. I can't validify that. But yeah, it's yes, it's a small studio, and they can only turn out so much. But it just annoys me a little bit that they don't polish what they've got there. They just keep throwing what they can with new updates or new bits of weaponry or a new map or whatever, when they could literally be, focus on tidying up the netcode and get. Somebody said to me they'd sold 70,000 copies of the game. Now, if you're waiting in a queue and it says 81,000 of logging in, and if you actually time 81,000 by, what's the minimum amount? £60 for the game.
Yeah.
They've fucking got a lot of money. Why haven't they invested in better servers and shit?
I don't know. They've gotten a lot of fucking money. I mean, they've got millions of people that's bought the game.
Yeah.
They've sold millions of copies.
So why aren't they investing in better servers? And, why don't they have their own server set up and stuff?
I got no clue. I don't know about any of that shit. All of it's speculation, I would like to know definitively, like from a games industry official, explaining what a server is and how much work does it take to connect and align people, and unify everybody's what they're seeing on the screen and how all that shit works. And then, like, in the beginning when you're queuing up, you know, it says loading loot. What the fuck does that mean? You know, it says, like, growing trees or whatever. I don't know what all it fucking says. It says a bunch of shit, and it's like 0 to 100%, and then it does something else, and it does something else. Like, what is the game actually doing?
To be honest, from my knowledge, and that's obviously working with games, ultimately, let's say you just have one server, okay, that deals with everything. Well, it has a load. It can only deal with so much information before it then it starts chugging and getting slow, just like a computer. You throw too much at it, it starts getting slow. So they obviously have got different servers for login. So when you log into the server and it identifies your profile name and everything, that's its own server. And they could have multiple of those. I mean, if they're dealing with 80,000 plus players, they're going to need multiple ones anyway. Then you've got the flea market, which people are selling and buying things. That's probably got its own server per region, just for the flea market. Then you've got, obviously, the game servers. And when you have a game server, it'll have so many slots of how many games that server can run. So it'll actually run the game locally, of which, is linked to your client, and it's taking information from you and sending information back to you. And it can only run so many on the server. So I think when you get your wait times, let's say, for instance, when you start the game, you click on, let's say I'm Protodead and I'm in Philadelphia. So I click on the Philadelphia server. I've only got one server selected. Then obviously you're going to be waiting longer than somebody else because it has to find a slot on that server for you to go in. So it can only find a slot when the queue's depleted for people waiting to get on a game in that server. So you'll go into a list, or it'll select, let's say there's 16 places per game on a server. It'll fill it out with, groups of 2, groups of 3, groups of whatever, and then a couple of random ones or whatever. And that's obviously with scabs as well. And when you load in, obviously, it has to load in the game into your local client machine and sync that game with the server. So it's got to run it on the server and it's got to run it on your local machine. And it'll sync the two up. So obviously all the information coming in from the other players and from yourself, it can sort of coordinate all the information. And then you've got all the calculations that it has to keep making during the game. So like constant positioning, if you're shooting bullets, hit registry, netcode, all that shit it's got to process. And there'll be a limit to how much that can do on the server. They might even have separate servers that do all the calculations so it doesn't slow down the game flow. And then you've got the added problem of backbone servers. So let's say if you connect to one of their servers, you probably don't go directly to the server. You go through backbone servers. You piggyback other servers to get to it on your ping. And if one of those is slow and needs the cache fucking emptying, that's going to slow down your connection as well. So there's a lot of fucking different things that could be, combining to the reason why we've got, laggy servers, we've got disconnects. Back-end errors, obviously, is all due to the code it'll have timeout. So let's say, for instance, you buy something and then it'll want a response from the server. And if it doesn't get a response from the server within a certain amount of time, it'll go back-end error. And then that transaction hasn't taken place. So then you'll try again and hopefully that it would have done it. Because let's say you've completed a mission, you try and hand it in, it says, back-end error. It just means that it hasn't given the information back from the server to you quick enough
to confirm the thing.
To confirm it, yeah. So you'll try again, and you'll try again, and then when you get a quick enough bit, it'll accept it and it'll take it, and that's all down to server load. So I genuinely think that they're overloaded on their servers, hence the reason why you've got these massive queues.
Yeah.
I genuinely think they've got bullshit sort of slots for people that are going in where they're, they'll go in, think they're going into a game, but there's no way they're going into a game. There's no fucking server there. I think they've just been held in like these queues to delay it. So there's not so much of a server load on what they do have.
It's basically sandbagging other players.
Yeah, yeah. So it just looks to me like they're on the take. You know, they're getting money off you. I think what they seem to be focusing on is making the game harder and harder and harder, with no loopholes in it, just making it harder and harder and harder. But for some reason, people just keep going back to it. There's obviously going to be a core amount of people that said, we've fucking had enough. That's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And they step out from it.
Yeah.
But then you've got regular people that are joining. So then you have to look at that aspect and you think, right, well, there's a lot of people joining. Now, we know there's cheaters. I've got a friend who actually bought a cheat program and let me, he streamed it and I watched him cheating.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah. I didn't comment on it. I said, look, if that's what you want to do, you want to do it. You know, I'm not going to comment on it. I won't. I promised I wouldn't sort of mention his name.
Sure.
He then told me he didn't mind if people knew about it afterwards, but I still, you know, it was told to me in confidence. But what surprised me, Pro, is when we went into the game, he says, look, he says, you think I'm the only cheater on here? Look at this. And like, he would be like behind a building. And you can see the little blue stick man of the people in there, and you can see all the loot and everything all around the map.
Yeah.
And he would be behind a building, so there's no way this guy's got a line of sight on him in any form or fashion with any of the technology in the game.
Right.
He'd move left, and the guy on the other side of the building would move left. He'd move right, the other guy on the other side of the building would move right.
Yeah.
So he says that guy is cheating as well. He has to be, because there's no way he can see me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, dude, it seems like there can be cheaters everywhere, and I feel
there's a lot of cheaters. That's what surprised me. I was so surprised how many cheaters there were. And I says, "You're joking?" He says, "Yeah, you can pretty much guarantee there's one or two cheaters in most raids that you play." And I says, "Well, how do they allow that? I mean, they've got the BattleNet, and they've got this, and they've got everything."
Mm-hmm.
And we sat and talked about it, and it's all about revenue, because a cheater will play the game. You'll pay $180 a month for the cheat pack.
Yeah.
And then, so that's revenue. And if that's got any link back to Battle State, that's money that's been earned. But definitely what's happening is, obviously, once they get banned, they buy the game again.
Yeah, they've made enough money.
Exactly. So that's constant revenue for Battle State. So they've got new people coming to play the game, which is revenue, which is coming in. But then they've got these cheaters who they keep banning, but they keep buying the new accounts, and that's revenue as well. And that's a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
So it almost seems to me like they'd want you'd want something like a law of diminishing returns, where there's cheaters in there, but not enough for it to be totally obvious, but enough for it to generate lots of money.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think BSG is not as capable of detecting cheaters as they would like you to believe, and I personally don't believe that BSG is of the caliber of team that enjoys knowing that they're making some extra money by letting cheaters cheat and then banning them and then hoping they buy new accounts back again.
I disagree. I disagree.
Nikita was pretty adamant in a couple of podcasts, and I'm just saying he seemed pretty.
Oh well, the devil's not ever fucking nasty, mate. He's always nice.
I guess so. I guess so, man. But he seemed like he was pretty genuine when he said, when somebody says that about us, they don't know us, and he fucking hates it because they don't like cheaters. They're trying to make a hard, honest game. They're not trying to make a dishonest game, and. I mean, I've watched a lot of the podcasts. I've paid attention to a lot of the news, man, officially, that comes from BSG, and it's...
Yeah. Well, I've watched it as well, mate. I've been playing this game for nearly 6 years now.
6 years?
Yeah.
It was only made available in 2017. Don't give me that 6 years bullshit.
It was made available in 2015, dude.
You didn't get in on that one?
Not on that one. I come in on 2016.
Yeah, I think it was the end of 2017.
No, 2016 when I got it. 17,
yeah.
18, 19,
yeah,
20, 21, 22. Yeah, that's 6 years. Yeah, it was 2016 I came in.
Oh, fuck. That was in July whenever they went to open beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's same. Same. I bought it at the same time. We got in the OAPA.
That's nearly 6 years, dude. Yeah, it's nearly 6 years.
Yeah, so 5 years. Fuck, man, you're right.
So anyway, I've seen enough to know what this game was meant to be when it was launched, and it was meant to be Get Bears versus USEX at opposite ends of the map. And they stumbled across something that was dynamic and PvP that I don't think they really realized what it was, but realized it was a success.
Yeah.
And ever since then, it's just gone fucking wherever it's gone. It's never ever been nailed down what the game is. It's just they're just PvP fucking maps. That's all they are.
Yeah, I don't think they had the intention of bears starting on one side and USEX on the other.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever.
Yes, they did. That's the reason why they had two opposite ends. So the bears would be at one end and they had to extract at the other end, and the USEX were at one end and they extract at the other end. You had to run the whole length of the map to get out. That's how it initially was going to be. That's why they had all the spawn points close together of all where the bears were, and the spawn points all close together where the USEX would be. But of course, once they went through this dynamic of, they realized that obviously the PvP was more interesting to people. Then you were getting like multiple groups that spawned next to each other and they were killing each other because it was a PvP fest. And then they had a nightmare splitting them up and making them different and starting putting them across the map into different locations. As you know, because look at the different spawns we got now as to when we first started the game.
Yeah, they've expanded on
it. Yeah, well, that's because the game had evolved. And then you had the streamers that got involved. And I remember before there was even streamers being involved, and the streamers came in, and literally within 6 months, all the new changes, all the new adaptations to the game were all what the streamers were recommending.
Yeah.
And then they had the streamers getting special packages because it's all advertising the game to get more people playing it.
I remember that.
There you go. See, we've been through all that, so we know why that went diverse. They said they were releasing the game. They said it was going to be in development for like 3 years, then it'll get released officially. And it's never been released officially. I don't think it ever will do. I think it'll carry on the way it's going, and then next year you'll see another map. The only thing that's keeping the game alive is the fact that they keep wiping it. That's the only thing keeping it alive, because end content, you just get bored of it.
I really think that that their idea of what you get when you get to the end, they're going to have a prestige system where you turn your character in and your stash gets wiped and you wipe all over, but there's something that you get starting anew, kind of like New Game Plus or whatever.
Well, you know how it was meant to be from the start. Did you ever read the synopsis of the whole game, what it was meant to be?
Yeah, I've read it several times. I've listened to a lot of lore videos trying to explain what the hell's going on. So it was like the shady corporation does a bunch of nasty illegal shit having to do with soldiers and private military shit or whatever, and they got to get out in a hurry because apparently their cover gets blown, and they leave the USEC private military in place, and Russia can't officially have a presence in this special economic zone that's just south of Finland called the Norvinsk region. They can't have a presence, so they create a special regiment called BEAR, which is like some acronym for some shit. I don't know, First Encounter Assault Recon shit.
Beast-eating, ass-raping, fucking rapists. Beast-eating, ass-rapists.
There you go. And then they come in to try to get all the evidence before Terror Group can cover it up.
Well, that's just lore. That's just lore and the story they put around the game.
What was actually, like gameplay-wise, what was supposed to happen at the end is
right, so
you finally escape. It was supposed to be like a single-player story where you uncover plot and you get story and you do quests that influence the world, and then you get to the end and you have like the end, sort of like a single-player journey, but it's a multiplayer game.
Right, well, no, that's my understanding was it was always going to be PvP, but what you did is you had like groups similar, like, 4 or 5 players on one side, 4 or 5 players on the other, so like 10 people per map, and you went through, you started in one area. Then once you completed that and got to a certain level, you went to a new area, and you basically fight your way all up to, I think it said level 50 at level, because you can only get into the new areas once you achieved a certain level. And at level 50, you can actually get to the final area where you actually achieve it and you escape. And when you escape, then that unlocks the 64-player mode, which is an all-out map where you can play with 64 players. That's what initially it was meant to be. The problem they've got is they can't fucking Unity, which the engine they've chosen, obviously because it was easier to code for and get coders for it.
And it's free.
Struggles. Yeah, it struggles like fuck once you get past, like 20 players.
Yeah.
They're never going to achieve 64 fucking players on a map with the detail and the complicated dynamics they've got with bullet trajectory and hits and everything.
I think they've done an amazing amount of work in pushing the Unity engine as far as they have.
Yes,
I think it's impressive.
Absolutely agree. I think it's more than impressive what they've managed to do with it.
It's like unfucking heard of. But why did they fucking go with a mobile video game engine? They should have gone with fucking Unreal 5 or some shit.
I think it was just probably the people that were making it were limited to limited programming knowledge, because it's a lot easier to it's C+, isn't it?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It could be
Unity
C# for all I fucking know.
Yeah, C#, C+, and you can add direct link. The beauty of Unity is you can put your own direct link libraries in there. So you could get somebody to program a machine code routine, and it would be accessed by Unity, and it would run that part faster. So you've got the benefit of both worlds. But there is no doubt what they've managed to achieve with it is phenomenal. But I'm developing a game with a guy abroad, and it looks the same as, if not better than this game.
What's it called?
It's going to be called Fendweir.
Okay.
And I've been working on doing all sorts of terrain stuff, using some software in Unity. I'll send you a screenshot. Hang on.
Yeah, do that.
Because it's in very early stages yet.
You been on Kickstarter yet?
No, I haven't done anything like that. I'm working with a programmer who's abroad. He's in India, and he's got a load of kids, and he doesn't earn a lot of money.
He's in India. Is he a prince that just needs a deposit? A $200 deposit for me to get $1 million that I'm entitled to?
No, you don't have to pay him $1 million to take a pigeon out of your bank account either. He's a genuinely nice guy. Mm-hmm. I found him on Fiverr to do a little bit of work for me because I had to create a new sequence, which is flying around Agrabah for an Aladdin sequence for theatre. But I had a month to create it, and I said, "There's no way I can fucking do it in a month. I'd have to pay some people to help me." So he created some characters for me, and that's how I got to know him.
Cool.
And I was talking to him about how these sequences we basically give to theatres to use the sequences, but we never know. We found out years later that they're still using the same sequences without paying it. So he says, "Well, I can create a jacket with it that's got a password on it that'll only last 3 months. So once they run it, it will last 3 months and it'll stop working." And he coded that and gave it to me for free. And it works. So and it works on PC and on Mac, which is just even better. So we got talking. I mentioned I was ex-games dev, doing graphics, art, and animation.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Well, he's a programmer. Let's work together and do something." I says, "Well, let me have a look at some R&D on stuff. See what's out there." Did some R&D, and then we came up with this idea. So here we go. It's just loading it up now.
Yeah, I got really slow internet, so I'll probably never get it.
Oh, it's only a picture, dude.
I live out in the deep woods, man.
Hey? Yeah, you'll get a picture, though, won't you? Jeez Louise. I can find it. That's the map.
So now you're doing 3D renderings and shit for theater? I thought you only did film, digital film.
Oh no, I'm ex-games industry, so I can create pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Well,
make me a life-size painting then. A mural. If you can do anything.
Hang on, let me just see. I could do that if you wanted to. I'm an artist.
Sew me a kilt.
I could sew you a kilt as well. How do I fucking paste that in there? Let me get that picture there.
You're gonna have to sew a diaper into it in case I shit myself.
Listen to you. I'll call that prop.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll send you a message. I should be able to just drag that in there, shouldn't I? Drag that in there. Did that go? How the fuck didn't that go?
Too big.
Oh, upload. Upload to Tarkov. Yeah, it's gone in.
Okay.
Got PNG. Yo. There you go. So I've sent 2 pictures in Discord.
Oh shit.
It's the same picture. I just sent it twice.
Oh good. Perfect. Okay. So birch trees, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a little bit of terrain. What's all the blue shit at the bottom?
Oh, that's all. You make the map up using these like flow charts, using textures and different things towards the terrain. So I've actually, let me see if I can find you a screenshot. It is actually a whole land. So that's just like a screenshot, from it. But
Yeah.
let's see if I can find one, because that's actually
And
not a brilliant.
This is in Unity.
This is in Unity, yeah. Copy, paste. There you go.
Seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the same combination an idiot would have on his luggage.
There you go. So it actually shows you like across the land there. You can see all the different sort of like areas.
Yeah,
and
that's cool looking.
Well, the area that you're looking at there is probably about 1/6 of the size of the land. And the reason why, I mean, it could be a lot bigger, but he's limited on the machine he's got. He hasn't got a brilliant machine.
Mm-hmm.
So once upon a time in a land far, far away,
Yeah.
there was a little boy called Roddy McMillan who worked for a game studio that was developing a game based along the IP of Games Workshop called Warhammer Online.
Oh, okay.
So I worked on Warhammer Online, and this game that we were developing was going to be very groundbreaking. And we worked very hard on it for a couple of years. And then at the end of those 2 years, the CEO, managing directors, Robin Dews and everything from Games Workshop came over to us and says, right, you're not where you should be with your development, so we're ceasing all payments and end of your project. Thank you very much.
Shit.
And we were all made redundant.
God damn
it. Because I get on quite well with most people, everyone was depressed. I went downstairs to have a ciggy outside, and Robin Dews came down to have a cigarette as well. He's a baldy like me, so we got chatting away.
He's a baldy.
Yeah, I'm bold as a coot, me.
Okay.
But we got chatting away, and he said, I'm really sorry for the news, mate. He says, it's nothing personal. He says, but we gave your company $4.2 million, £4.2 million to start developing this game, and they didn't do anything for 6 months with that money. So that was 6 months development time lost. So I said to Robin, well, what did they do with the money? He says, well, they invested most of it trying to get a second project when they should have been working on our project. So they're 6 months late delivering milestones, and we can't be doing with this because we're against the time frame. So that's the reason. That's the reason why it all went under. So this has all happened without me even knowing about it. I was recruited 6 months later after they had the money to work on it. But anyway, that aside, the game that we were developing was going to be groundbreaking. Because of the graphics, which, I mean, we had state-of-the-art PCs, and even our PCs were struggling with what we were chucking around. So we knew the development time, which is going to be about 3.5 years for a studio of probably about 100 people. It was going to be something else. But the sort of synopsis of the game was it was going to be really fucking hard. So when
Okay.
you started off, it was going to be medieval, and you would start off in these little villages. But if you wandered out the village, I mean, you'd be killed. These monsters were really fucking nasty.
Okay.
So you'd have to train up and do things within the village to get yourself to a level where you could even get out the gates without dying. If you wanted to travel to other villages or towns or anything, you'd use armored transports, medieval sort of carts with people on board, you know, that would fight anything that sort of invaded.
Okay.
Or you could form a party of up to 4 people. So you could go out in a party, which you'd better survivability.
Yeah.
The trick behind the game, though, was we developed an AI engine for the monsters. So let's say, for instance, you come across a couple of orcs, because it was all based on sort of D&D sort of, you know, orcs, goblins, trolls, and shit like that.
Mm.
When you came across a monster in the world, AI would randomly choose its personality. So it could either be a very aggressive thing that would come flying at you and try and kill you, or it could be sneaky, and it could sort of try and watch you from beyond trees, so you might not even know it's there. They would all have their own things that they did, like they would, you know, they'll go around the land, they would make campfires, they would, you know, get food from killing things or getting fish out the rivers and stuff like that. So they'd have their own sort of habitat, and it was like real life. So when you go into this world, you're actually going into a world that is actually living. It's not just a game where you've got a PC that wanders between these two paths and then you see it and it comes at you and you kill it.
Yeah.
So you had lots of different personalities for the monsters. Some monsters they might see and just fucking run away. They won't even fight you. They'll just fucking flee. Some monsters will, you know, once you get them and you get them really hurt and on the ground, they'll plead for their lives. They'll give you information that would go towards quests and stuff like that. There's lots of dynamics involved with it, along with a very basic system of crafting, a basic system of like doing stuff in the wild where you could do herbs and, you know, make potions to heal yourself and things like that. So there was a sort of survival aspect of it, but it wasn't like chopping down trees to make houses and shit. It wasn't at that level.
Okay.
So that's what we were working on. So because that game never got made, it's always been like, we need to make that game.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on. We think we can do it with 4 players in the Unity engine quite easily. However, he does need to upgrade his machine because he's on a shitty little laptop. And I'm working on R&D on the mapping system at the moment. And we've got some characters, and he's also building an AI engine to do like a little test area, so we can sort of get the AI working, and then we can do data tables and put different personalities, so it can randomly choose what sort of personality and AI it'll get and stuff. So that's just the start. There's a lot more to do, but that's what we're working on at the moment.
Wow, great. That sounds wonderful. How long have you been working on this?
It's not official. It's just been casually happening end of sort of last year. But we've both decided to hit it a little bit more comprehensively this year once we've got sort of, you know, well, I've got to get my dad's funeral out of the way. He's got some bits and bobs to sort out with his family. And then he's also doing work on Fiverr as well. So he's earning money with the intention of buying a better machine. But in the meantime, we can just do research and development on different things. So he feels confident he can code all aspects of the game, you know, from all the infantry system to finding and looting to crafting, graphic updates, special effects, obviously moving the map around. So it's a continuous map. So when you get to a certain area, the area in front will load in, the area behind will deload. So there's no loading screens going between areas. So there's lots of different things that we've talked about, and we need to start building some prototypes, basically.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Yeah. Well, we just, like you say, I'll send you some links to see how it's going along. It's going to be a long process, and you know, if it's looking like it's gaining ground, then we'll probably go for a Kickstarter or go for some sort of funding, get some money behind us, and then, you know, maybe outsource some work to speed up the project.
Yeah, cool. I'll invest, even if it does fall apart and doesn't come to fruition. I'll invest, man.
Oh, well, we won't get people to invest until we've got a working prototype. So technically, we want a very base game working before we'd even ask for any funding, so people can see evidence of they're going to get a game, because there already is one there. It just needs filling up properly with all the work being done for
Well,
everything.
that's beautiful. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people appreciate that. I've been listening to a lot of people on YouTube talk about Kickstarter scams, and I think there's a lot of people out there that are pretty apprehensive about the whole venture anymore because
Exactly, yeah. They're not going to invest in something if they're not sure.
I think nowadays people are more apprehensive about it than what they were maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Hunt the Showdown is an example. Scum's an example. You know, the games that they launched as a Kickstarter, wanting funding, but they were playable games.
Yes.
And they were fairly decent. You know, you couldn't argue the fact the content wasn't there. It just needed more stuff adding, fleshing out, and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
And if it gets people early access, so they're following it through, then who the fuck cares, you know? If it helps pay to get the game out faster, then brilliant. But
right.
Ideally, we're both doing it for the love of it. We're not doing it because we want to make loads of money. We're doing it because we just like the idea of creating a real cool game where people can go in and see how long they can survive. You can save the game and come back to it, but when you're dead, you're dead. You have to start from scratch again, apart from you don't do the initial training. So if you've gone through all your training so you can go outside and fight, you start there. And there is a massive story-driven quest for you to complete. So if you actually...
It's a 4-player co-op game, possibly. But it can be played single player.
The beauty of it is it's a solo game, or you can play it with 2 players, or 3 players, or 4 players. You can play it with any one of those combinations. There's a functionality to farming. So let's say, for instance, you want to go out there and kill loads of monsters. If you keep doing that, there's a very small random chance you'll get a really nice weapon. There'll be key areas that is groups only, where you'll go to these areas and you'll not be able to enact the actual encounter unless you have 2 or 3 or 4 people with you. There'll be some puzzle areas where the same thing will apply. So you can play the game, but you can save the game. So in the game, you'll find places like lodges and inns. And when you go to a lodge or an inn, you can save the game and, you know, just turn it off and come back to it where you were with everything saved.
Nice. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad you got how long have you been dreaming about this? I mean, like, you put stuff down on paper, you put stuff down, like information, you've made notes to yourself. Like, how long have you been working on this idea?
Well, initially, the idea of Fendweir, that's the name of the game, was something that it's a long story, but trying to cut it really short, I went through a bit of a bad time in my life when I was about 26, and we went away to South Africa for a couple of months, and it was a massive break. But it recharged my batteries. And the first thing I did is when I got back is I bought a typewriter, and it was a clever typewriter. You could type in all the stuff on a digital pad on the typewriter, and it'd show you all digitally on a little screen. And when you were happy with what you'd written, you pressed a button, and then it would type it all out, print it on the paper.
Nice.
So it meant you didn't make loads of mistakes. You could check it all out digitally before it actually did the typing. And in those days, I used to be into fantasy. I used to play D&D with my mates on board games and stuff like that. And, you know, the actual role-playing aspect, you know, where you've got a DM and you'd sit down and you'd do your character, you'd roll dice and you'd go around dungeons and stuff that drawn on these maps. And one of the things that came out to do with that sort of, you know, Wizards and Warriors thing was these books which I'm sure you've encountered them, which are you know, you're on a page and it says, if you want to fight the dragon, go to page 32. If you want to run away from the dragon, go to page 34.
Choose your own adventure, yeah.
Choose your own adventure. So what they did is it's a guy called Ian Jackson and Steve Livingston developed this system. And all it was, which we worked out because we actually bought these. We used to buy these books. Every time one got released, we bought it and like did these books. We used to love them. But then one day, it sort of, because we'd had so many books, we started identifying that there was the same page numbers you were going to. So we actually compared two different books, by the same people. They were exactly the same page number. So all they did really is they had a flow chart that had to page 43, to page 64, to page 22, to page 33 or whatever.
Yeah.
And all they did is they filled in the boxes with a new story.
Yeah.
That's all they were doing. And they were churning these things out 10 a penny. So I thought, hang on, what would be a great game would be to have a book, but you actually can go to where you want to go rather than specifically just go to page 23. Let's say you had a map on the page with multiple page numbers. So you could choose how you actually walked around the map by using the pages. So I developed this game idea with all the story, all the backlog, all the lore, the whole story of the whole thing. And wrote it all down, did all the drawings, all the little maps, all the little page numbers and everything on each page, all the little illustrations. And I sent it off to a place called Arrow Books. And they loved it and they wanted to publish it. But I didn't take it any further because the mission wasn't to actually publish. It was a book. It was to prove to myself that I could do it. And I proved to myself that I did it. And I've still got that book. But all the stuff that went into the book, all the lore and everything, will be what this game will be. Albeit later on in life, when I worked at Warhammer, which I'd be probably, what would it be then, about 32? When I worked at Games Workshop over in Nottingham. And I was there for about 2 years. What we were developing on there, I've basically amalgamated my story with the gaming sort of thing that we were working on there that never got released because it was all canned after 2 years.
Yeah.
And come up with this hybrid idea for a video game. So all the stories there, all the characters there, all the laws there, we just have to put it into a video game.
Isn't Warhammer like a big fucking franchise?
It's massive, yeah. Games Workshop.
Yeah, so it is. It's not like just of the same name, but something different. It's like the Warhammer.
Well, Games Workshop are the people that own the IP for Warhammer, and they have their main revenue came from creating little figures.
Yeah,
where people painted the figures, little lead figures. Then it evolved into like a board game with figures, which is massive now. It's like D&D.
Yeah.
And that evolved into books. It evolved into video games, and even now into the cinema, where you've got like there's one with orcs an orc in it, and there's an orc and a human in it, and it's a film. So they've gone full circle with it. So it is massive. The IP's massive. Ironically, the guy who designed Warhammer, the whole idea of it, his friend basically nicked all the idea, copyrighted it, and then got all the money for it and sold it.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's raped a guy of it all.
Yeah, that's really rotten. But that happens all the time, I think.
Yeah, that's life. It's obviously this guy saw potential in it and put his stamp on it and got all the IP. So yeah, that's what we're working on. But going back to Tarkov, I think Tarkov is this fucking evolving beast. Where, to be honest, all these problems that we're seeing now have all happened since they ported it to the new Unity engine.
Which problems?
So all these problems with like server things not working and this, that, and the other. They initially ported it to the new engine, and then bit by bit, slowly but surely, we've started seeing loads of little back-end errors and problems and server queues and everything. This is all since the port.
Yeah, I've noticed a small. Just I want to have I want to have this be said because I haven't heard anybody talk about it. There's like this sound hang up glitch, like right when you go into raid, when you come out of raid, it's like
everyone's getting it, yeah.
like a stutter sound.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a big deal, but it's like I've never heard that shit before.
No. Well, you're probably not supposed to hear it. It's probably because it's loading in slow or it's waiting to get information or whatever. That's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, what else? What other problems are there?
we're seeing a lot of. We still think there's a lot of cheaters out there because they put inertia into the game now, which
Oh
is
yeah.
supposed to stop this peak shooting and all that bollocks, but it doesn't. They haven't actually put the inertia onto leaning and shooting. They've only put it into like normal gameplay.
Yeah, and normal movement. Yeah.
Yeah, so they need to put it on the fucking leaning around and lasering between the head eyes. And we're just saying that, we might meet somebody in the field and you're both fucking running around strafing each other, but they manage to head eyes you with one shot. How the fuck are they managing to hit you between the eyes when you're both running around?
Probably cheaters.
Exactly. There is no question. Yes, you're going to get the random chance that they hit you with a bullet in right between the eyes. Yes, you're going to get that, but not as often as it's happening.
Yeah, I would have to say, like, throwing the whole idea of cheaters being in the game out of the picture, I think the biggest problem I've got with inertia is that none of the AI suffer from inertia.
No.
I mean, the AI seems to be in a better state now, easier to kill. They don't react so fast. They're not super fucking Terminators most of the time. But I think the disparity between the limitations that are put on the player, like an actual person playing the game, versus the same limitations that are imposed on the AI since they're different, I think that's bullshit. I think it's unfair. Like, AI don't suffer from broken bones. They don't run out of ammunition. They can bleed to death and they can heal if they have heals, but they don't have inertia. And let's see what else. They don't have stamina. They don't lose stamina.
Do you know what my pet hate with AIs is?
What's that?
So you go along and you see an AI in front of you, and either he sees you or not, it doesn't matter. You shoot at him, and let's say you don't kill him and he notices you and he locks onto you and he starts shooting at you. And then you run into a bush or behind a rock, but he's laser shooting you through fucking terrain, through bushes and everything, and then bullets are coming at you. He knows where you are even though he can't physically see you.
Yeah.
That's my bugbear. Because once you've gone behind cover, he should not be able to see you. He should break. Yes, he might look for you and not shoot. But if you've got cover and he's got no line of sight to you, how the fuck can he keep shooting you through everything?
Yeah.
That is the biggest fucking faux pas that I've got with the AIs.
Yeah, they need to do something about bush visibility. They need to be able to code that.
Yeah. Well, they can code it because if you go up in the bush, the AIs can like go past you without noticing you're there. But like you say, if you shoot at one, they seem to lock on to you, and then it doesn't matter if there's a bush there or not. Certainly in the new map. Have you been to the new map yet?
Yeah, I've cruised through there a couple of times. Nothing serious.
Okay, well they've got like a group of like super scabs there. I can't remember what they're called. And them fuckers, I mean, literally, you poke your head up from 20 miles away, and they see you, you're dead eyes.
Yeah.
And they rocket launchers and everything. They're on you like lightning.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It is dumb. And like you say, the cultists, you can't see them on thermal. Well, why can't you see them on fucking thermal?
Because they're wearing big robes that apparently are made out of wool or something.
What a load of bullshit! You'd be able to see them on thermal.
It's pretty stupid. What else? Another thing that's stupid is the injector that you can take that makes you less reactive on thermals.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it doesn't change you much. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't looked at it.
You can still see on thermal quite clearly. It doesn't do fuck all.
Yeah, I think it's dumb. I think a lot of the injectors, the stems are stupid, but I think that may be core to the
idea.
Is it?
Yeah, the stems are streamer ideas.
I wanted to say that the stems were all part of the lore. They were originally planned because that's the big thing that Terra Group is working on. I want to say the stems are the thing that makes
it probably was, but I don't think to the extent that it was. Because I mean, the streamer says, "Oh, we should have a stim for this. We should have a stim for that." And I can't walk with this backpack. We need a stim so you can like carry heavy loads, or But they were talking about that today. They were saying if you actually take more than one stim or something like that, it can kill you.
I remember one of the stems specifically, like the Aldobos or whatever. Like you can take
That's the
it,
one, yeah.
you can take it, and it'll make you trip out or whatever. I've never seen it. Or it has like a 25% chance just to fucking kill you dead,
Yeah, yeah.
which is cool. I mean, I enjoy a good overdose every now and again.
Well, I know they were talking about having, like a payoff for using narcotics, where you
Yeah.
become addicted to it or something. That was something that was suggested, but I don't know if it's going to come in or not.
Well, it is because it's been in the game since we started playing. It just isn't activated. It's like in the character screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Toxicity
And it's like the
or something.
radioactivity as well.
Yeah,
There's going to be areas that are radioactive, or there's going to be poison gas and stuff like that. That's not even in yet.
No. I wonder how much blood pressure is going to make a difference when they add blood pressure in.
I don't know.
And to be honest, man, I like a lot of the changes that they've made. So you said earlier that it's going to push a lot of people away because of how hard they're making the game. I'm enjoying every change they make that makes the game harder. Like the weapon jams. I fucking love all that shit. The weight changes. Oh, you love it. You just don't know it. You love them.
No, I hate it. With a vengeance. You got some twat, bearing down on you, shooting at you, and then your fucking gun jams, you fucked.
You fucked. Until you, well, all you got to do is look at it real quick and then do the clear.
Yeah,
and
L, Control T, yeah.
You just got to train to do it, I wish there was firstly, to say something about the weapon jamming, I wish there was a way to simulate it in the game so you can train to be quicker at it. There isn't a way to do it. I mean, you can go in your hideout and shoot the fucking targets and shit, but unless your gun happens to jam that time.
Because of the sort of game that it is, I'd prefer it to be automatic. So you get a weapons jam, but your player will just automatically start fucking about till he gets it working again. Without you having to press shitloads of keys.
Maybe. I mean, that could be okay. I could get on board with that. I mean, if you liquor me up just right.
I think it's just because the last thing you want to do is when you're gaming, you want to concentrate on gaming and shooting and watching about, rather than have to remember to press a bunch of fucking keys to unjam a gun.
Sure, but the thing is that other players suffer from the same limitations. So, have you ever had a chance where you've seen a player start doing wacky shit, and then you kill them, and then you find out their gun was jammed?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of wacky shit, but you usually find that if, let's say, for instance, you've got a player that's level 30 and he's got 20 million in the bank, he can go out and buy a new gun.
Sure.
Highly unlikely to jam.
Okay.
And then you get a low-level player who'll, he can afford an SKS that's second-hand from the flea market.
Okay.
Put some PS rounds in it because he can't afford anything better.
For sure.
And, and he's going to jam.
Yeah.
So if you're a low level, you're actually not only a low level, but you're being penalized for being low level and not having money. So if you're not straight off the mark when the game launches, where you get up high level, the game's automatically unfair within a week to the lower level players.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to me to be unfair because those players had to work. If they weren't cheating, those players had to work that hard to get where they're at. And don't you think that those players should have the advantage in that way if they choose to be smart and buy a new weapon and make sure it's tip top and they take care of themselves, they wear body armor, they got their keys squared away, they know how to hit all the keys in the right moment. I mean, that just makes...
Yeah. I'm not disputing that, but they should be matched up against people of the same ilk. Not against, like, new guys that have never played the game before and that are struggling to fucking get a grounding.
I think that goes against... If you're talking about matchmaking, I think that specifically goes against the spirit of Tarkov, because in Tarkov, you don't know... You're never supposed to have any idea what you're going to be coming up against when you hit the go button. Whenever you go and you press into a match, you don't know if you're going to be going against 3 or 4 teams, that are like duos and trios, or if you're going against 2 teams of 5, or if they're all hatchet guys, running fucking naked to the marked room.
True, but I'd still think that if you've got any kind of decent players in the map that are running around like headless fucking chicken shooting everything because they're cheating motherfuckers with aimbots,
Yeah.
And then you've got poor little noob guys, level 1, trying to get his MP133s, and he comes across somebody that's fully kitted. He's fucked, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Because
fucked.
the fully kitted guy's going to shoot at the other guy. It's not even going to fucking hurt him because he can't even afford decent bullets.
Yeah. Yeah, well, then the new player should quit being a pussy, and he should load up and do another raid, and hopefully he'll get it that time.
Yeah, and then he loses all that gear.
That's too bad.
Because he's not familiar. And he can't afford to buy anything, so he's now down to just playing a scav.
Oh, I got a solution. I got a solution for that guy. He can just go buy some fucking sheets.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's what Battle State want, because
that's
then they'll just keep fucking resetting you each month and bringing the money in.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Yeah, I think this game is more.
It's not a game to me; it's a simulator. They're trying to make it into a simulator,
which I think is really, really fantastic. But what I'm saying is you're getting more out of this game that you put into it than a lot of other video games. If you put a lot of fucking time,
deny that.
Cannot
deny it in any
right.
way.
You're right. So the casualties of war, the people that are going to suffer as opposed to the people getting really, really good and having good gear and having lots of money and they can afford to lose and they're very, very aggressive and all this other shit. On the flip side of that, there's got to be players that are just starting out, that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're low level.
They don't have much playtime.
And that's too
bad.
People
that are busy with busy lives. They don't have much playtime. They can't keep up.
There's no reason why the game,
because the events aren't notified properly.
Okay.
You don't even know when some of the events come on. They just happen, and then
they just happen.
People. Yeah. It's not even advertised. It's going to happen on a day. The amount of events I've missed because I didn't even know they were going to happen.
Yeah, you got to be clued into the community, man. I mean, you got to be like on YouTube, and you got to look at everybody's new video they posted about the news and shit. Or you got to.
But with a good game, you wouldn't need to, because it would be broadcast that they're going to run this event on such and such a weekend at such and such a time with advance notice, plenty of advance notice, and advertise it. It would be on the launcher. When the launcher comes out, I'll go, wow, new events coming up this weekend, blah, blah, blah. Why are they doing that shit?
I don't know if...
Because they're fucking retards.
I don't think so. I think that goes against the spirit of the game, because the spirit of the game is you don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you need to persevere.
Oh, man. Okay, so I remember playing a game, Pro, not that long ago.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, bud, but it was like... all of a sudden, I'm in the raid, my water's gone, and I'm dehydrated.
Okay.
And I'm need to... No, right, darling. And I can't find any fucking water. What the fuck's going on? I'm doing another raid, and I'm like, shit, I'm fucking dehydrated again. What the fuck's going on here? I just filled up 100%. Oh, we're in an event where there's a shortage of water. So not only is there a shortage of water, but it's particularly hot out there, and your water's draining at 300%.
Yeah, I remember
of
that.
what it normally. Yeah, and I just think, well, is that really an event, or is that just a load of bullshit just to fucking make it harder?
That's funny.
I tell you what, let's take fuel. Rather than having 60,000 units every hour available for the people to buy the fuel can.
Yeah.
We'll only put 12 units on there.
Yeah.
And every hour, and then say there's a shortage of fuel. So basically all those people that have, spent money and farmed all those fucking graphics cards so they can keep the miners going, they're fucked. They can't even use their miners.
Yeah, but they were
that to me is a bullshit. Fucking bullshit. It's an excuse to make an event when it's a load of bullshit.
That's funny.
It was the same with bitcoins. Oh, let's run a month where you can't even fucking buy a bitcoin.
I don't think the event was a month long. I think it might have been 4 days.
Fuck off! It was more than 4 days.
It might have been a week.
It was at least a couple of weeks, dude.
It wasn't that the fuel
felt
shortage.
Like a fucking month.
Yeah.
No, the Bitcoin one. The Bitcoin one was on for ages.
No, where the price of the Bitcoin crashed, you mean?
I don't know what I don't know what words they put behind it, but they basically made it so you could only buy 4 Bitcoin, and they were gone before you'd even clicked on anything. You could never get a Bitcoin, and you couldn't trade for them either.
And what did you need the Bitcoins for? I don't remember.
Well, you need Bitcoins for handing in for certain weaponry, or like you say, just to hand into exchanging for cash for rubles. There's a load of bullshit, mate. They're like bullshit, and I think what they did is they had like a timeline when they were going to release a new patch with whatever it was.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we start seeing all these events pop up for about fucking 2 months before they actually did, do the wipe of the game and put the new map in. Because they were delayed, they hadn't got it finished, so they came up with these bullshit. It's like now, we know when there's going to be a new wipe because a week beforehand they start running these events. Fucking bullshit.
I want to say that in wipes past, they have had events that happen leading up to the wipe. And I think Team BSG is trying to make economic events happen throughout the wipe. It's not just happening at the end. We're just seeing the beginning of that. So like last wipe, there was events.
Do you think it's in an evolutionary stage then?
Yeah, it's not. It's like this Christmas event was an event that lasted for 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
In a few more days, there'll be another event that pops up now that Christmas is come and gone, and this next event may only last 2 to 3 days, and it'll be
Easter.
An economic.
It'll be Easter.
Easter doesn't happen so fast, but it'll be an event that limits, some food item that's available from traders or whatever.
Yeah, but generally speaking, in most MMOs that I've played, because that's the line they're taking here. They have like a Christmas event, they have an Easter event, they have a summertime fucking festival with some event going on.
Sure.
They have a Halloween event, and then you're back to fucking Christmas again.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is that BSG is having events. Let's call them something different than holiday events, okay? Let's call them let's call this last bullshit holiday events. Event bullshit, whatever. Those holiday festival things, those happen 3 times a year, maybe, in BSG's world.
Yeah.
What they're wanting is, I think they're coming up with little economic events that change the market a little bit. They had the HTO.
They've employed an economist, haven't they?
I don't know what they've done, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it's a good idea. So I think eventually we're going to see therapist get sick, and there'll be an event where you can't even buy anything from therapist for a week. She won't be available.
That's not an event, though, is it? That's just bullshit.
Dude, you're not adding. You're not adding.
Let's take therapists off the fucking list for a week. That's not an event.
Wait, no, listen to me.
That's cheap fucking bullshit, that is.
They'll make that you can only buy one type of ammunition for each gun. All the rest of the ammunition's just disappeared all of a sudden. Yeah. It's bullshit, Prout.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
It's fucking bullshit.
It's fucking bullshit. What I'm trying to say to you is that they're trying to shake up the economy, and they're trying to make the players do things that is abnormal, shake up their norm, their day in and day out, what they have to do. Like you might go into a raid, and every single raid you keep a ball of water with you so you don't dehydrate. They had the dehydration event specifically to fuck with those players that A, never had to worry about dehydration, or B, are always worried about their dehydration. Yeah. So it fucked with the quick, fast players that got in and got out, and it fucked with the players that tried to stay to the last minute of the raid. So it shakes up the way you have to play the game. You have to readapt for that time during the event. So they had a key event where the price of keys was fucking dropped. It was almost, or no, it was the price of keys went up. They had a loot nerf where there was a event where the loot was just scarce on all the maps. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but if you can have an event, have some benefit to the fucking game, not an event where it makes it fucking harder and, you know what I mean? It's hard enough. It doesn't need to be any fucking harder.
I'm pretty okay with it getting harder.
You are, but when you've done 5 years of it, now, what 6 wipes have been through? I'm just getting to the point now where you're thinking, oh, not a fucking game. Do you know what I mean?
I hear you, but
It's repetition, and there's not enough change or development to make it.
no, I agree with that. They need to fucking develop the game faster and better. And one thing that they absolutely need to do is they need to take all these little bullshit quests that we have to go through at the beginning of every fucking wipe.
Fucking hate them. Hate them.
I'm fucking tired of them. I'm fucking tired of all of them. They need to take all the quests, all those fetch this many items and turn them in, and then you get the next quest where you got to go to this area and then just look at the area and then escape.
For, Pro, don't you?
Yeah, they're there just to give us something to do. They need to take them and they need to shuffle them like a deck of cards instead of them being in the same motherfucking order. Because,
mate, them quests are in there for one reason and one reason alone, to keep you playing the game.
Yeah, sure.
You have to play the game for X amount of time to be able to complete all them quests. That's why they added more quests. That's why they put the killer quest in there. Kill killer 100 times to get a fucking Adidas
tracksuit.
Yeah, and look like a cunt.
It gives the players something to do, man. But
yeah, but it's just wasting people's lives, isn't it?
It's giving people something to do when there isn't much to do. They need to put some substance to the quests, but all these little all the quests that we have now, all those motherfuckers, they need to shuffle them because I'm tired of the order. I'm tired of going customs.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
They've added a new dynamic in the game, which I personally love. I think it's great. The drop boxes from the Hercules, the C-130s.
Oh, yeah, the airdrops, yeah. Tell me about the airdrops.
I fucking love it. I love it because it does something that's massive in the fact that, A, you can get some good kit out of it, because I looted one only today. It'll drop right next to me, so I managed to get all the loot out of it and fuck off and hide in a bush before anybody knows I was even there.
Yeah.
Right, so I love the airdrops. Mm-hmm. But what's good about it is when the airdrop comes, whatever's on the map is flocking over to it. Yes. And you're pulling all the players to one area, so there's going to be battles and fighting and everything. That is a great dynamic. Whoever thought that idea up, fucking brilliant idea. But let me give you another idea, okay? No specific graphic with all the detail, and it's a new map, and you can see all the detail. Let's just say you've just got a fucking hill, right? Mm-hmm. And when you spawn in, you don't know whether you're going to be at the bottom of the hill or you're going to be at the top of the hill. You're going to be on one of the two, and it'll be 2 teams of 5 players. You can only go into it with 5 people, okay? And when you go in, you're either defending the top of the hill or you're attacking. And whichever team wins, you get drops, loot bonuses, and stuff like that. It'll be a short game, and it'll be different because you don't know whether you're defending or attacking. And then you can sort of set up, go to the place where you're going to go to be, you can attack, do it. And it's just a simple it doesn't even have to be a detailed map. Here's another thing. Leaderboard. So every week they have a group of players from different guilds or groups, like we're in OAPG or OAPA or whatever you're in. You can apply to go there. You get in a draw, and then they have a draw, and then they have matches that are videoed with multiple screens from all the players. They play the game, and you go into a leaderboard, and whoever wins at the end of the month, they get a prize or they get some special sort of item that benefits them in the game because they earned it.
Okay.
And then it starts again from the next month, and you have the new leaderboard every month. You can even have competitions where you win real money, where you pay to enter it and you play against people for money. And yes, you're going to get the fast boys and the hard boys playing it, but it would give the game so much more notoriety. It would do all the advertising for the game. The big boys would be on it. There'd be money being earned, and it would just be good fun. Make it available in the game so you can compete with other teams, where it's just you and another team. There's so much scope for the game. There's just loads of scope for it. They found the dynamic that works. And yes, the simulator side of it is good if you like that side of it as well.
I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, well, you've got the PvP aspect of it with the wide aspect of whatever you want to, gear up in, what weapons you're using, what kit you're using on your gun, what ammo you're using, what tactics you play like. There's all of that stuff. So why not utilize it? Why just have a fucking map where people run around shooting each other? Make it where you are in an adverse environment against each other rather than just you around the map. And the only adversity you've got is scabs. And I think they've just started touching that on with a new Lighthouse map where they put some areas in there where you've got, areas where you've got fucking shit hot laser targeting scabs, or they added the cultists. So, if you go in at a certain time at night in certain areas, you're going to get cultist shit happening. But I do think there's so much scope that they're missing.
Maybe, or maybe they're just slow at developing and they're going to bring a lot of that stuff to the game whenever they can fucking get it done. It just seems like their development is super slow.
Yeah, they're not a big team. That's why I've heard that many people have said they're just not a big team. They can't get the people to do what they need them to do.
Nikita said in a podcast that they've hired 100 people in the last 6 months.
Right. To make tea.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Fucking scrubbing shoes all day. Fucking sucking on eggs. I don't know what they're doing.
Catching crayfish and bringing in the food. Pulling the plugs out of the server so they don't work.
Yeah, rubbing Marmite on everybody's bread.
Yeah. Your job is to go in there and turn all the coolers off to that server room so they all fucking fail.
Hey, Vasily, what's something that we can do tomorrow to piss off the players? I don't know.
Have
maybe.
You seen the video?
No.
Yeah, you've seen the video again.
What video?
Right. The managing director there's talking to the development engineer, and he says, right, yeah, we've come up with this great idea. And he says, and, what does it do? Go, well, we've decided the best way to sort of keep players playing this game is just so they feel like they've been punched in the dick. Yeah, love it, like it. So we're going to take this away so they can't do that. Yeah, but what's the point of that? Then they're going to, it'll make them feel like they've been punched in the dick. They'll come back from
yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, I think for me personally, there's only so much adversity you can. Once it gets to us, I think you're going to have young players with quick reactions that will probably do well in the game quite quick. Yes. And then you can have an older school player that's a bit slower how he does things, and he won't be able to compete against the younger player, and it'll become a little bit monotonous because you're going to be dying a lot more. Because reactions change when you get older. You get a bit slower. You're not as, fast thinking when you get a bit older. And I think it's a shame that it sort of tailors more to the younger gamer. That's the bit I hate.
Okay, I hate that too. I'll agree with you on that. I disagree with everything else you've said so far. But this one, but this one I totally agree with you. Because I think that all people should have the ability to try to play. However, I think the time you put in, you should be rewarded for it. The reaction time and making decisions and shit, dude, that stuff it's hard. It's getting harder for me. I mean, I'm only 40.
Oh, mate, I rarely get out of a raid alive. I rarely get out of a raid alive now. So it's so hard for me to even keep money I get to the point where I think, shall I run the game or shan't I run the game now? Because I just, die so fast, so easily to some twat across the map with a decent scope and I'm headshot. I'll be running, I'll just die. But it's happening so often now that I just think I can't be asked to play the fucking game. What's the point?
I wonder.
I'm literally. I sell everything that I've got just to get a bit of kit or I have to do a scav run, which I don't particularly like, just to get a bit of kit so I can go in as a PMC.
Yeah.
To do all the fucking quests that I've done 6 times over again and been wiped. And I'm just thinking, I'm getting to the point, what's the fucking point now?
Yeah. I can see how you'd say that. I understand how you feel, but I wonder if there isn't something in the tactics that may be something you can change in the way that you play the game that would shift the needle.
I have tried running and gunning fast. I've tried being sneaky in fucking bushes and shit and being careful. I've tried waiting. I've tried playing it cool, playing it fast. I've tried everything.
Tell me about the waiting.
Well, you sit in a bush and you wait for ages. A player comes running along.
Maybe ambush him.
Yeah, you ambush him so he doesn't know you're there, and you've got an open shot to his back, and you open up full clip, full auto, straight at him, and it's laser auto. It's not recoiling all over the place. And what does he do? He turns around and headshots your head eyes. One shot, one fucking shot.
Do you have any of those clips uploaded?
No, I don't really record them. But how often does that happen? All the fucking time. A guy, I was ground floor of dorms. I was the ground floor. You come in from the candy shop side through the door. You go past the stairs on your left. You keep walking down to the end. You go past the door to the kitchen where people can jump in through the window. You go to the end. You lay down on the floor. You're in a dark area. You cannot be fucking seen. You're in a dark area there. If you look through that door, you can't see a person there. The only thing you'll ever see is muzzle flash, which you won't see a lot of that if you've got a silencer on.
Mm-hmm.
A bloke comes in. You hear him outside jumping. He's coming into the bathroom on the ground floor. He's in. You hear him reload his magazine. He's getting ready. You hear him take some painkillers so that if you shoot him whatever or in his legs, he's not going to stop or go slow, so he can keep going. The door opens. He comes out the door. He's walking down towards the stairs. You've got a clean shot of the back of him. You unload on him, right, with a MPX.
Mm-hmm.
Square at him, turns around and one-shots your head eyes, and you're in the fucking dark.
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. I mean, maybe the motherfucker
It's happening all the
cheater.
time, mate. It is happening all the time. And, people don't seem to realise that there are fucking shitloads of cheaters in that game. Shitloads, not just one or two. Fucking shitloads.
Yeah, I would like to get to a point where I could trust that I'm playing with honest players.
Let me give you another example that happened only tonight.
Oh, okay.
This happened tonight. So I spawn in as a scav in what I call the medical building. So, the silos end of customs?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, you go along, you've got the Walter checkpoint, but you go further along inside the silos end. You come to a wall. You can either jump over by the train into the other area, or you can go through the gate at the bottom end.
Yeah.
Go through the gate, and then you've got that big building on your left, which I call the medical building. It's the one where you've got a truck in it. You've got to mark for one of the missions.
Yeah,
I
right.
spawn in there. I come out, and I look out the main doorways, which looks over to checkpoint, and I can see this big fucking crate dropping out the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And it lands right by the pylon near checkpoint. So I run through the gate, through the hole, go over there, open the box, big backpack in there, grab everything, put it in there, run down to gas station, sit in a bush in gas station. And this is in Bush Alley. When you go down by the tank and then you're into Bush Alley?
Yeah.
I am sat in that real fucking dense bush. Yeah. Guy comes, I've not made any fucking noise. A guy comes running down from the top of the sniper rocks to the back of gas station, runs down the outside, jumps over that little fence bit to get onto the inside where that lootable crate cache is, by Bush Alley at the bottom end of it. Jumps over the fence there, bang, head eyes. And I'm in the middle of a fucking bush. You can't even see me.
Mm.
That was tonight.
Oh, disgusting. Yeah. If we could get to a point where we could trust that we were playing against honest players and we weren't playing against cheaters, then at least we can say, okay, that guy had information that I didn't think he had, and obviously he saw me move and then saw me stop and then...
No, I was stationary, not making a fucking noise.
Well, you had to make noise to get there, didn't you?
Oh, no, I was there a long time.
Okay.
I was just sat there waiting for it to clear out so I could move on. And this guy came. I heard him come running down from the hill, ran down, jumped the fence, and just went bang. And there's no fucking way you could see me.
If you're in a bush,
hear me.
If you're in a bush and somebody has a thermal, they'll still see bits and parts that are glowing white.
He didn't have a thermal, dude.
I'm sure he probably didn't. But what I'm saying is okay. So are you saying that he wasn't a cheater? He was killing you honestly?
No, he's a cheater. There's no doubt about it.
Listen to what I just said. I said if we can play the game And no, there are no cheaters. When that same scenario happens, you have to tell yourself, since there are no cheaters, then this guy had to have had information that I didn't know he had.
Yeah. But I mean, that I already know that, dude. We did a run in labs. Literally, we went to labs. We went in there. There was a guy inside the building that's got 2 doors to it. It's along the outside edge wall, and you've got a lift at the end.
I don't go into labs very much, so
okay. Well, basically, there's a room, and on one wall you've got a door at this end on this wall, and on the same wall at the other end you've got a door. On the outside, there's an adjoining wall. So the only way you can get past that wall is to go into that room through the door and then out the other door.
Okay.
Okay. So we hear a guy in there. There's 4 of us, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Right, walking slowly. Now, if you listen very carefully, yes, you can hear a walk, but we're walking very slowly. We know he's in there because he's making a god-awful racket, running around and doing loading, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly, bang, 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 we see the trace of bullets coming out of the wall that kill us all. All fucking 4 of us killed all of us in like 3 or 4 seconds. And the bullets were coming out of a concrete wall.
Fuck. Yeah, that's when somebody needs to record that and show it to Nikita.
That there's no denying that is the guy has got a bot on and he's shooting people through fucking walls.
Right.
But I've had it coming through the fucking floor and hitting me. I've had people on 2nd floor of dorms shooting through the floor and hitting me on the ground floor.
Fuck. I haven't.
Loads of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. Not just randomly now and again. Fucking loads of times.
Damn. The servers I'm connecting to, I feel like I'm not running into too many cheaters. I mean, there's been a couple of times here and there this wipe that I was like, dude, that's pretty fucking suspicious. But on the whole, man, I think I've been having pretty good luck on my side.
Well, maybe you have. Maybe you have. What servers are you on, by the way?
Some of the American servers, like whatever ones are for Central and I think our East Coast.
Yeah, well, you might find in that area of the world people aren't that way inclined, but over here, mate, Europe, cheating fucking motherfuckers.
Yeah, that sucks.
Maybe
man.
they're just jealous they haven't got guns.
Yeah, I wish the cheaters would go away. I don't want the cheaters. I don't like the cheaters. I want to play a hard game that's as true to a war zone life simulator as possible. But I want to be playing on an honest and fair field.
Yeah.
And I think the weapon jams and shit are a step in the right direction because do you shoot a lot? Do you go shooting?
I used to, but I didn't shoot with bullets. I shot with air rifles.
Okay.
Jams never had a fucking jam.
Yeah, I've had a couple here and there. And when it happens, when you're not ready for it, it's like...
Funnily enough, I went to Florida for a holiday, and we went to a shooting range.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was good fun. And he gave me an automatic rifle. It was called a Spectre or something. I can't remember what it was. It looked like some futuristic type gun. And I got these bullets. They look like 9mm bullets that I put into a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shooting that. It wasn't in automatic. I was just going bang, 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 bang. Every time the muzzle came down and my sight was on the target, I fired.
Yep.
So you get the recoil of the barrel goes up in the air, but when it comes down, the minute the end of that came down, it was on. I fired again, and I just went, and that jammed. That stopped, and I had to like pull a clip back and pull the magazine out and free up what had gone wrong.
Okay.
So yeah, it does happen, and I've experienced it in real life, but it was only that once. Only that once.
Okay. Yeah, but it's all in how how fast you can react to it. Like how well do you know the weapon? Do you know what to do? Can you do it efficiently? Can you do it effectively under stress? There was one time,
like you say, just put a skill in, and if you get just do it automatically, so it takes you X amount of seconds of you to fix the jam without you having to fucking manually try and press buttons, and then you build up the skill. And as you build up the skill with more and more jams, obviously you get quicker at doing it. Just like you do with everything else in the game. That would work.
I think you're right. I think that could be a really elegant way to do it. I think that could be a great and fair way to do it, especially since
it'd be the same for everybody then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because well, maybe not the scavs. Like scavs are supposed to be civilians turned fucking marauders, but the PMCs
jamming a lot fucking more because they ain't got dust covers on. They ain't got fucking loads of shit on.
All the scav guns spawn with lower durability, so therefore they're supposed to jam more often.
Yeah,
but
not when they fire it. When you fire it.
Yeah, when a player fires their gun, but the AI do not suffer from weapon jams. That's another thing I forgot to mention earlier. AI don't suffer from weapon jams.
You did say it. Yeah, you said it earlier.
Fucking bullshit. They need to fix that. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
There's nothing that grinds my gears harder.
To be honest,
yeah.
Because the scavs are relatively easy to kill. Because
they're easier now than they used to be.
When they see you, they call out, and that gives you a couple of seconds or a second and a half to shoot them, and then they start shooting at you. A normal scav.
Yeah.
So you've got plenty of time to react and kill the scav. But like you say, that the payoff is if they lock onto you, they can shoot you through bushes and shit. So it's down to you to make sure you kill them once you've identified each other. So yeah, I don't think the scavs are that bad. I think they're dealable with, and you might get a random face shot from a scav, But I've been shot at a lot by scavs this white, where I thought that's fair. You know what I mean? A lot of bullets sometimes have missed you, or they've hit you in the body or the legs or whatever.
And that should happen. Personally, to Hollywoodify the firefight with the AI, they should shoot a bunch and they should miss a bunch, just to increase your stress level and fucking make your heart beat. But they shouldn't Terminator fucking head eyes you like immediately. Like used to, if you ADS'd on an AI, they would fucking 180, fucking drop shot, go prone, shoot you while they're still flying through the air, and you die.
Do you know what really pissed me off one day?
What's that?
I was on Shoreline. I was at the hydroelectric plant, and I was running over to the cottages. The lootable cottages with the safes in.
Well, yeah.
And I went through construction, the blue fenced area, and there was coming down the hill to the actual brown fence with a hole in it on that construction side.
Yeah.
Right. And I could hear a scav on the inside, so I just sat there by the side of the fence, looking at the hole, which is probably 2 or 3 feet in front of me, but I was, side on to it, looking horizontal to it. And a scav ran out with his gun down, waving as he's running, and he shot me, but his gun never even came up. He didn't even stop and lift his gun up to shoot me. The bullet had come out of his gun that was pointing at the ground and head-eyes me.
Yeah, wish you would have got a recording of that. How long ago was that?
Oh, I did record that. That was a long time ago. Basically, they will shoot you without having to stop, lift the gun and aim at you and shoot you. It'll be a bit of code that says bang and it randomly hits you or not.
That may have happened a long time ago. I don't think that happens anymore. If it did,
yeah, it does, dude.
I've never seen it.
They'll be running along with a gun and shoot you, and they haven't even pulled the trigger on the gun. That happens now.
You should upload that clip so I can see it.
I don't have it now. I did record it, though, when it happened. But generally speaking, the way to beat scavs is if you see a scav, just throw a fucking flashbang or a grenade and they will run, and then shoot them while they're running.
Yeah.
Because when they run away, they don't usually shoot at you.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. Good tactic.
Is it the best tactic there is? If you throw something...
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're under fire and you need to stop that fire and you can't get cover, just throw a grenade and they will run. Yeah,
and if you don't know how many there are or where they're at, you get them to move by throwing a grenade. They'll all fucking yell.
Yeah, they will, yeah. A grenade will disperse them fuckers really quick.
Yeah, what do you think about them not allowing grenades in your gamma container anymore?
I don't know. I think they've, in the early days when you were skint, it was great that you could get stuff and you could put it in your gamma and get out with it.
Yeah.
But then, of course, they had a problem with a lot of sort of pistoliers and hatchet runners just running in, looting what they could in their gamma and then running out with it. So it was sort of affecting the gameplay. So I don't know. I think I've heard stuff. I mean, look at that. When I did one wipe where I'd literally just got my gamma, and it was like, shit, it's the first time I've ever had the gamma. It's the only time I've ever got the gamma at level 50 I was. And the very fucking next day, they took the gamma out of the game. Do you remember that, when you couldn't use your gamma?
You're talking about for an event or something?
It was an event that lasted for fucking ages, and you couldn't use your gamma. And I thought, well, what's the fucking point? I've just spent fucking 6 months to get this fucking thing, and now they've taken it off me. I can't use it. And now they've taken it out the game.
What do you mean? What do you? No, I don't. I'm confused now. Do you mean you don't mean gamma? You mean the epsilon container or something?
No, it was the gamma.
Well, gamma is what the secure container gamma is what you get with the EOD edition. Your EOD.
One of the wipes, towards the end of the wipe, they stopped you from using your gamma.
Yeah, I remember that.
You couldn't use your gamma at all. You didn't even have a gamma slot. And that was for many weeks. And I just thought, you cunts, I've just got my gamma. And I'll tell you another one as well. Graphics cards. Every single wipe, one of the first things I do is whenever I get 200,000 rubles or whatever it is, I buy a graphics card. So I have a bank of them. And when I get my miner working, I ram all my cards into it so I can start generating money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do all this. And then Elon Musk decides to put 1.5 billion into Bitcoin. And the fucking price of Bitcoin goes through the roof. So I'm earning a shitload of money, but I've invested in all them cards.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They thought, oh, well, this isn't fair. We're going to nerf it. And they nerfed it. So all the work I'd done to get all the graphics cards to now earn fuck all money with my miner.
Yeah.
Cons.
Yeah, that's kind of...
I got that on luck, and they destroyed it for me.
The change like that should happen with a wipe. It shouldn't happen in the middle of a wipe.
It shouldn't, but they should have known better. They decided to make that dynamic in the game linked to the real price of Bitcoin. That's what they decided. But when Bitcoin went through the fucking roof and they saw people running loads of money, they decided to nerf it. They should have never made it linked to the real price of Bitcoin in the first place.
There you go.
A fixed rate, and that should have been it.
There you go. Yeah.
But they did that with weather. They linked the weather to real-time weather systems in fucking Russia.
St. Petersburg.
Yeah, and then when it pissed it down for a month and everyone was going, for fuck's sake, we're going to get a nice day, they then took all that out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you know what that tells me? It tells me the people developing it are a bunch of fucking useless idiots.
I think they've got some... I think they have some challenges that they need to overcome. I wouldn't go as far as...
But it takes them a long time to overcome challenges, dude.
They need some smart people on their team. They need some smart, capable people, and they need to make smart decisions, and they need to start making them faster. Because, I mean, goddamn, the development on this game is so slow. And yeah, they do make some dumbass decisions, but I think a lot of the changes that they make, the spirit is the game is dynamic, and that the game, you can't predict what's going to happen next. And I think in that spirit, I think they got something special.
Yeah, they have, but I mean, just as much as you've got the good shit, you've got the bad shit. Look at the netcode fucking malarkey. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Some poor little fucking urchin, spotty-faced urchin, like, saw the code and thought, who the fucking hell's programmed this? And wrote a fucking detailed list, published it on Reddit so everyone could see what a fuck-up they got with the netcode. And we saw it. We'd be in a group and somebody would open the door, and 5 seconds later the door would fucking open.
Or close. Repeatedly.
Or close. Yeah. We saw that the game needed optimization when we went to fucking dorms or we went to Shoreline into the sanitarium and like there was 4 or 5 players and then you'd be fucking glitching and disappearing and reappearing. We knew it needed massive optimization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were they on that? No, they were too busy making fucking gun bits and getting new gun bits out.
Yeah, but that's
rather than fix the fucking game.
I agree. It's not as simple, though, as just fix your fucking game, because you may be really, really good at cooking dinner and cooking food, and I may be really good at cleaning the house and doing the laundry, but if we've got to feed 40 people, I don't know how to cook any food. I'm just doing the fucking laundry and cleaning the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, the problem, the reason why you're seeing gun bits and stuff released into the game is because those motherfuckers are modelers. You know, those guys make meshes and they make textures, and that's what they do. They don't know how to do all the other shit. You know?
Well, they need to take a break out of adding new content
and learn how to code
for a good 6 to 8 months period and fix the fucking game. Because for 5 years, they've had this thing running for 5 years. Let's not dispute whether it's 5 or 6 years. They've had this game running for 5 years, and you're having to wait for fucking half an hour to even get in. I mean, in this day and age, that's fucking unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, for sure. I totally get you.
It sucks fucking... Yes, I get it. They might be being DDoSed. But there's technology out there to prevent DDoSing. Why aren't they buying it? They've got the fucking money.
Yeah, I would think they got the money, too. I got New World. Grizz, big shout out to the big homie Grizz for buying me New World, and I played it. But whenever I was playing New World, man, there was a queue to get in every time. Like for weeks.
For half an hour?
Yeah, there was a long queue, so I don't think it's unusual.
Yeah, but that's a newly launched game, dude. That's not something that's been out 5 years. That's a newly launched game when they've got to, like, factor in how many people are going to buy it and play it, and then they can get all the server structures sorted out. And that's quite normal for the development of an MMO. And then they didn't realize there's going to be this many people played it, and they get new servers and they build it up and they fix it over a few months. That's normal. This is something that's been going 5 years, and there's back-end errors every 2 fucking minutes. People waiting fucking 18 minutes to get into a raid, and then the game server closes. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, the wait times for matching is total bullshit. I agree. I don't know what's going on when that happens.
Well, every time you go into a game and you get a server error and you wait for fucking up to 5 or 10 minutes for it to free to get back to your screen, or you're waiting fucking shit knows how many minutes before you even get anything, and then it says server timed out and you're back to the lobby, or you have to Alt and F4 to get out the game because it's just fucking stopped, and then have to wait in the queue again. All that time is wasting people's lives.
Yeah.
And after 5 years, that should not be happening now.
Yeah, I agree with that, but just to put it in perspective, the queue times and shit didn't start until after the wipe and after the Christmas.
True. But I'm not being funny. How many times have we seen them release a new update where it's added new stuff and it's brought something good into the game or whatever, but it's broke 2 fucking loads of shit behind it? So they've spent ages fixing all the shit they've broken.
Plenty. There's been plenty of times where I've seen that. And as a matter of fact, I've seen old bugs come back.
So what they need to do is properly have a game testing division when they've made a new patch and a new map, that it gets heavily game tested, and, you know, all the bugs and everything, that most of it's found. They're not going to find everything, but most of it's found before they launch it.
Yeah.
So when you've got all these little twats squealing, oh, we want a new update, you know, when's the new update? Or it's been 6 months, we should be getting one now, and they're all squidding like little bastards. So Battlestate feel that they've got to release it, and they release it unfinished, full of fucking bugs.
Yeah, they do have the ETS servers, right? They've got
the
early test servers.
Yeah.
But what do they do over there? I don't fucking know.
I don't know what they shouldn't be releasing it with back-end errors on everything, even on quests now.
Yeah, I think I've had both my dad and my homeboy Grizz has had back-end errors at a time they were transferring loot, and it deleted all that loot.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've gone in as a scav, waited for 18 minutes, and then the server's timed out. I've then waited another 3 or 4 minutes to take me back to the lobby, and I've lost the scav. I've got to wait another 15 minutes to get a new scav. So not only have I lost the time, I've lost the fucking scav as well.
Yeah, so you're now on scav timer.
Yeah, and now you're waiting for another 20 minutes, and you could get another shit fucking queue and you're just wasting your fucking life on it. That shit needs sorting out, not adding new fucking guns and new updates.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I agree. It does need to be sorted out, but I'm resourceful. I multitask. I've got a digital project on the side that I got to work on whenever I'm waiting in queue or whatever. So for me, it's all good because I've got a plan, you know.
Well, you've probably got the patience of Job, dude, but I swear to God, tonight, everybody that I've played with tonight has been moaning like fuck that they have to put up with these fucking queues and these lockouts and errors. They're all Alt and F4 and waiting to get back in. I think it's really appalling after 5 years.
Yeah.
And let's being totally honest, let's take the game in its entirety. Yes, it's an outstanding idea. Yes, it's got a lot of potential. A lot of great things have done. The fact that it's been thrown around by the Unity engine, it is amazing. I'm not going to deny it. I'm very impressed with what it does.
For sure.
But let's just take a step back and say, right, should we focus on getting the new Streets update out, or should we focus on just cleaning up this fucking mess quick, sorting it out, and then sorting it out proper so we don't have to deal with it ever again?
I think the second one.
Fucking sorted.
If somebody would give me to vote, I'd vote for the second one.
Yeah, there you go.
I've waited this long for Streets. I can wait a couple more years. No big deal.
Well, I was saying to someone literally only about a week and a half ago. They say, "Oh, what are you playing at the moment?" Because they play these MMO games and these isometric 3D games and stuff like that. Says, "Are you still playing Tarkov?" I says, "Yeah, still playing Tarkov." I says, "The one thing I can honestly say, for the £120 or whatever it was, £160 I paid for the EOD edition, I have had my money's worth over and over and over and over again in playability for the money I paid. So I can't deny that. I cannot slag that off because I've had that, you know, the money I've paid, I've definitely had my. But please, for the love of Christ, just sort this shit out because it shouldn't be happening after 5 years.
Yeah, fucking fix it, Nikita. Goddamn.
Yeah, fix the. Never mind the updates and a new fucking scope or a new piece of metal you can stick on your fucking gun. You know, there is enough in the game to keep people going for a good 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
Let's just fix the fucking game so we haven't got all these login problems.
What do you think about the revolver shotgun?
I've only used it a couple of times. I used it tonight, actually, funnily enough. Yeah, not too bad. But I need to try it with the sight on. I just tried it with like just bare gun.
Yeah, I like it.
It fired fairly quick. I was impressed with it. I love the 153 anyway. That's my favourite gun of the game.
Yeah, semi-auto. Pretty good.
You put some Magnum rounds in that, mate, and fire it downrange, 8 shots going in their direction. You more than likely got a kill. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. It's great. I like the prospect of the revolver shotgun is they've perfected the technology or whatever animations need to happen with that they can now transmogrify that to all the revolver pistols that they've been meaning to add in.
Yeah, I did like the idea of when I got the gun, I went in. I think it was a scav actually, and I went to load the gun, and I actually had an empty shotgun, and it had put the single cartridges in one after the other, and you saw it going into the chamber.
Yeah,
I thought it was nice, but again, I think that's an aesthetic thing. You know, loading the gun and seeing it all. To me, that's just an aesthetic touch.
Yeah, it's like
you could have the same playability without even having that in there. You could hear click, 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 click as it puts the things in without even seeing anything.
You mean it lowers the gun out of the view of the player?
Yeah, and it puts 5 shots in.
Yeah.
But I also think is once you start loading a gun, let's say a shotgun or whatever, the minute you start taking rounds in the middle of a load, you should be able to raise the gun and start firing it.
I think you can. Left click.
Well, sometimes I've tried it and I have to wait. And I tell you another big fuck up of the game.
Yeah.
Is if you go into a loading animation and you start taking rounds, you can't go prone. If you're in a loading animation, you cannot fucking drop down.
Yeah, you can't go prone immediately, and if you're prone, you cannot stop the animation. So if you're standing or if you're crouched and you're reloading your gun, thump, 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 and
Yeah.
you decide you don't want to load anymore, you press the left click and your dude will
It
stop.
should override it.
It takes a second, but your dude disengages from the reload and he'll make it ready to fire.
Oh mate, I was literally on
But
woods,
if you're
and I
prone,
literally was hitting the fucking X button to go prone, and he just carried on loading and loading, tanking shitloads of rounds till I died. And I'd pressed that X button probably about 15, 20 times.
yeah,
But he was not fucking. It should override that load button and go prone, because that makes you a smaller target to hit straight away.
yeah, you're probably right about that. They need to fix that, but I'm pretty sure if you hit the left click button, it will cancel the reload animation.
All right, well maybe that's me then.
You need to try doing that. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're prone, last time I checked, if you're prone and you hit reload, you're reloading the whole fucking gun because it won't let you do nothing.
And what's all this shit with you can't go prone in a bush? You got to go prone outside the bush and
then crawl
into
in.
it.
I don't know.
What a load of bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. I've crawled through plenty of bush in my day, and I never had a problem.
Yeah, I tell you one thing I did notice when I used to use they used to call me Bush Wookie. I used to love sitting in bushes where I couldn't be seen.
Fuck yeah.
And then I came on one day after a wipe or an update, and all the bushes, they'd fucking half the fucking amount of leaves in nearly all the bushes across the game.
Yeah, they probably did that to save memory.
They probably did that so people can see you in bushes.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. And literally, there are still some thick bushes about to hide in, but fuck, you can hardly hide in a bush now without being seen.
Yeah, I know.
Camper.
There's people that bitch about bush Wookiees or whatever, and it's like, dude, it's a play style. People being rats, people being chads, exit campers, whatever the fuck, dude. Play the game however you want to. Figure out if you don't like the chads, figure out a way to combat them. If you don't like the fucking rats, then figure out a way to combat them.
Do you know what I personally think would be the biggest thing that would make this game more enjoyable?
What's
one
that?
thing that they could do is take out grenades.
Wow. Okay. Tell me more.
You take grenades out of this game, it would be 100% fucking better. The reason being, the amount of times I've gone in to a raid where I've got cover where they don't know where I am and they just spam the whole fucking area with grenades till eventually they hit you with one.
Yeah, that shit sucks, but they can only carry in so many grenades.
Yeah, no, but a lot of players do go in with a lot of grenades now, regularly. But the amount of times that I've been fucking down by a grenade because somebody they can't see you, they don't know where you are, they just lob a fucking grenade, and then you might be hidden or you might have cover, but you're fucking downed. I think it would be better for both parties if they just took fucking grenades out of the game and said no more grenades. It's down to your fucking skill and shooting ability.
That would be interesting. You know what? Don't say it too loudly. Nikita may watch my podcast and he'll be like, "Oh, that's a great idea. We'll take grenades out of the game for an event."
He won't. He won't take it out. He was talking about adding fucking claymores at one point, and people were saying that would just fucking destroy the game.
I don't know. Then if you make them super rare.
Yeah, but then they were talking about having claymores where you had to stay with it to activate it, but a claymore, you fucking set it up on a fucking wire and it goes.
Yeah, everybody's seen Rambo and Commando, goddamn.
And then they had the fucking noob tube warriors in literally every time we went into labs, there were people in with noob tubes, and all they did is they cleared an area with a noob tube, moved forward, cleared the area with a noob tube. You didn't have a fucking chance. You didn't have a fucking chance. They just fucking went in with shitloads of noob tube ammo and just fucking decimated the whole area with fucking grenades, moved forward, decimated the next area with grenades.
Yeah, I think they've made adjustments to that to where they're not as readily available now.
Yeah, well, exactly. They should take them out of the fucking game, take grenades out of the game.
Yeah, I'd like to try the game out maybe for 2 weeks with no grenades and see what it's like.
Oh yeah, I'd be well happy with it without grenades.
It'd be cool. They should do a great grenade event.
A grenade event whether you get more grenades.
No, a grenade event where no one sells grenades and you can't put them on the flea market and they don't spawn in raid. And eventually
Yeah, but
everybody
that's
run
not a
dry.
solution. That's just a temporary solution, isn't it?
All the events that they're running are temporary.
Yeah. But I genuinely think if they took grenades out, it would make the game so much better. And also add inertia to the leans and the the leaning around corners.
I agree. They should.
They need to put inertia on that shit because they're about fucking bullshit. Pop,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I think they need to fix all the AI. Oh, something I was going to say earlier is, did you know that there's scavs that have like double the hit points that you have?
Yeah, Terminators.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
they got the scavs that spawn late into the raid. They have like the skull mask or the shattered mask on, or the Jason mask or whatever. Those motherfuckers, they
Yeah.
have boss hit points, man.
Yeah, we've had scabs where we've just shot the shit out of them and they've not dropped. And we had one the other night. It was on the shoreline. It was up by the radar tower, and a scav had come out of the blue fenced area down by CCP.
Yeah.
And he had a decent scope, and he's like going blink, hit him, blink, hit him, blink, hit him. I think he shot him like 25 times, and he had BT rounds. He says, "I've shot this cunt like 25 times, and he will not drop." I says, "Are you sure he's not dropped? The animation hasn't updated, showing you where he says." No, he's still fucking running around.
It's fucking
And
terrible.
he genuinely shot the living shit out of it. They actually went down up to him and shot him shitloads before he dropped. So there's either a bullet registry problem or something's not right there.
I think there's always been bullet registry problems, and I think it's less of a problem now than what it used to be, but it's still prevalent.
Oh, there's definitely bullet registry. Where was I? Had an automatic. It was an MPX with AP rounds in it, 9mm AP rounds, and I can't remember where the location was. A guy jumped out, and I fucking emptied a whole clip straight into his chest and in his face, and he didn't have particularly good armor on, right? And then he just went bang bang, and I was dead.
That's
And
fucking shit.
I thought, fuck off! I've nearly hit you with a whole fucking clip of 30 rounds in the face and the chest. And I'm not disputing there may have been one or two stray bullets left or right of his head or whatever.
Sure.
But generally, anyway, I died. It went to the next screen. I hadn't killed him, right? Went to the next screen. I'd done like over 800 fucking damage to him, 50 absorbed by armor. Why is he not fucking dead?
It was a player?
It was a player, yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a cheater.
800 fucking damage, 50 absorbed by armor.
I mean, he might have been stemmed up or whatever, healing him on the fly while he was moving, but still, it sounds like some
800 fucking damage, dude. That's twice as much as you need to kill someone.
Yeah, it's a problem. That sounds pretty shit.
Mate, we know what it was. It was fucking server lag. That's all it was. It hadn't updated his fucking hit points because of server lag.
Do you think he would die, like, in a moment after you died?
He probably did die after I died.
That motherfucker.
But again, that's server lag. Can't get away from that.
Yeah, they need to fix that too.
Mm.
Well,
but I agree with you. I think overall, it is a fucking good game. There's a lot of playability there. You do get a bit bored after 5 years of doing the same old fucking things, but I can still go into customs and have a good game in customs, or
especially with the boys.
Yeah, I love customs map. I don't know what it is about customs.
I think I like it because it's so familiar. I know where everything's at.
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people go to other maps, like the new one. They're going in because they know a lot of loot locations. But quite honestly, I don't give a fuck about opening boxes and getting stuff. It doesn't appeal to me at all. I want to get in, run around and shoot things.
Yeah.
I don't want to be fucking opening boxes to find a fucking packet of matches. You know what I mean?
You got to, though. Got to get those hideout up.
Well, yeah. Let's go into a high fucking footfall area, open fucking filing cabinets for a whole fucking day.
Yeah.
To get a fucking Cricknick lighter. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
what a waste of my fucking life.
Yeah, well, they've got that whole loot system going, man.
Yeah, well, there isn't no fucking loot system. I went into the blue, the blue buildings by Red Building on
Yeah,
Customs.
right.
So I went in there and I got like 3 308 keys out of the 4 drawers. Are you telling me that's a loot system, or is that like a RNG fuck up?
It's a joke. They're
Yeah,
trolling you.
fucking joke.
It's a bad day, man. That's all it is.
It's every day's a bad day on this fucking game at the moment, honestly. And I don't dispute the fact that I'm an older player with, you know, not so many options as a faster player with lightning reflexes.
Yeah.
But I mean, the things that we did have in our favor were like thicker bushes, or we could do a bit of camping or whatever. The things that sort of went in our favor because we're older boys, they've taken them away.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be a play style that fits that. I agree. I'm 100% with you.
They've taken it away, bud. And it's the one thing they did do, which I must admit is a good thing for us older boys, is they lengthened the grass. So that if you lay down in grass, it's not so easy to see you now.
That's good.
Which is a bonus. So that sort of goes in our favor. But the bushes, man, put some more fucking leaves on them bushes.
Yeah, I wish they would do that. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, because I think sometimes as a player, it's nice that you can run into it. Let's say you've just been in a big firefight and you've taken a lot of damage and you need to sort of heal or get. Sometimes it's nice to be able to get into a load of bushes so you can get in there where you can't be seen and they don't know where you are, and it gives you a chance to heal up a little bit so you've got some survivability and you might get out.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing to have. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And I don't mind, if I come along and somebody nails me from a thick bush, then they nail me from a thick bush. I'm happy to get hit by somebody from a big bush. I think, shit, I didn't see them. They were in cover. They had the one up on me. So they did. But you'll find most people that play this game, they're not patient people. They're like running around like twats.
Yeah.
They're running here, there, and every fucking way. And you try and get them to sit still for 2 minutes. They can't. They've got to be up and running around. There's no patience.
Yeah. My dad and we're pretty patient. Like,
oh, I know. I'll never forget watching that video you did. You went onto woods. You were just going along talking about what you're doing, then you lay down in them 2 fucking horse boxes, shooting every fucking scav that came past, healing yourself up, nailing some more scavs, and you had a whole fucking pile of bodies outside. It was great. It was fucking great to watch, and even the things you were saying as well. You obviously were enjoying yourself, and there was risk because you did get shot a few times where you had to heal up and stuff. So, that's the way it should be. Enjoyable.
Yes. Yeah, I think there should be a major reward for people that have an area locked down. You have the angles, like like if there was a team of 3 and you had all of 1 floor of dorms, it's like the way the inertia system should work is the people that are moving should be at a disadvantage. It should be harder to see and identify a target if they're stationary and not moving than it is for somebody who's moving, like it is in real life. You know.
I tell you one thing that I've done a lot that's really worked for me, and it's not my normal play. A lot of these boys I play with, they get like some kind of an SLR type rifle or DMR or whatever with a medium sort of scope on it, maybe with zoom capabilities or whatever. And they sit and they look around and they plink people from a distance to try and get the headshot. And I'll a cheap gun, SKS, PSO on it, cheap thing. And when I spawn into customs, I run along to the wall side of 3-story, run up to the 2nd floor because you can't get in through the 3rd floor door on the wall side. Just go in, shut the door behind me, and just crouch there watching the end fucking door. And the amount of people I've nailed open that 2nd door at the candy shop end coming in, fucking loads of people. Loads of people. Because you can't see through because the door's shut behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're dark, you're fairly covered, and they come through that door and you just nail them when the door opens.
Hell yeah.
So easy with a little PSO.
Well, then that's a wonderful tactic that you found. I don't do that myself.
No, well, I just did it by accident one day, and I started doing it more, and I had a lot of success because a lot of people, they don't go straight up to the third floor. They like to come in on the second floor, jump the bed, and come up the stairs
Yeah.
because they have more options for escape than just on them ladders.
Right. Yep.
So they always do that, and of course, the minute they come through that door, their head's a target in your scope, mate, straight away, and they can hardly see you down there.
That sounds beautiful.
It is a good little tactic. There are loads of little tactics that people use. Have you seen the one in Woods?
What?
With
Throw
the 45-degree tree?
No.
Okay, so you spawn in Woods at the cabin on the hill. You know, the hunter's cabin on the hill.
Yeah.
And then you run across to the little cabin. So you run over the road, over to the little cabin with the log piles.
Yeah.
Then you turn left and head up towards checkpoint.
Okay.
Along the edge of the woods. As you go along there, you will see a tree that it's bent at 45 degrees and it goes up and there's loads of brush at the top of it. You can walk up that tree and just hide in them bushes
Oh
and
shit.
nail anything in them woods and they can't see you. Are
Oh wow. No, I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
you joking?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Oh mate, I was playing with Doom. You know Doom Blitz? Phil.
Yeah, from back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. I was playing with Doom. I says, Doom, take a look at this fucker. And he went, what? I says, just keep going along there. I said, look at that tree. Just go up there and sit in them bushes and wait for people to come along. He was fucking nailing people left and right. He goes, that is our fucking ace spot.
And you know, some video game designer over at BSG put that in there and was like, someday somebody will find this.
Maybe, yeah. But he was shooting people left, right, and centre, and they were looking around. They didn't have a fucking Scooby where he was.
They didn't have a Scooby.
Not a fucking Scooby-Doo. And I swear to God, if you make sure you're silenced.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, you can't stream in this channel.
Sorry. We're trying to have a podcast, man.
All right. Okay. Tarkov.
Anywho, yeah, dude. This has been really great. Is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap it up? Because we're going on 2 hours now.
Oh yeah, I need some hot looking chick to suck my dick.
Yeah, I do too. I agree. My wife.
No, I think we banged it to rights, mate. I think we know what needs to be done.
Yeah,
I
would
really do.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit more about this with you when you get a chance one day, because I think a lot of your opinions and what you got to say, I think you can articulate it very well, and I think you're super intelligent, and I want to hear what you got to say.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm super intelligent, bud, but I think just on experience, I think there's obviously a little bit of something there that warrants looking at.
Take the motherfucking compliment, you beautiful fuck.
Yeah. Okay, and I think you're intelligent too.
Oh, bullshit. Okay, you're all right too. Do me your best John Wayne impression.
Oh, you're going to kill me, dude.
Do it.
Yeah, we'll have another one of these, mate. But I think there's areas where we disagree on things, but I think there's also a lot of areas where we actually agree. You know, it's a good game. It's got potential. They just need to sort the shit out. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, man, I'm with you 100%. Why don't you shoot me an invite to your server you've been playing with your homies on? Maybe I'll...
I would love to, but I can't because I'm not an admin, but I will get one to send you an invite.
Okay.
Have you finished your podcast, by the way? Is that finished now?
No, I'm about to do an outro for it.
Do an outro, bud, and then I'll put me in a channel. I'll stream this, show you this thing.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, Hotrod, appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to do another one here coming up soon. So, do you have anything you want to promote? Do you got a YouTube channel or anything?
No, no, bud. I just want this game to be the best thing that it ever could be, ultimately. And we might have a bitch and a moan about things, but I think it's just because we want it to be better than what it is.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Yeah, totally agree. Hotrod, we've been friends for 5 years since the OAPA, and I look forward to playing with you a little bit more. And I want you to have you back on the podcast. So if you guys liked it, like it. And if you dislike the podcast, dislike it. Share, subscribe, and future videos and all that other bullshit. I'm Protodead, and I'll catch you on the flip flop.